Good morning. We come to a little preparation for our Bible study on Thursday as we look at Isaiah chapter 7. And of course, you can join us on Zoom. And if you want to contact me, I'll be able to set you up with the details. And as we look at Isaiah chapter 7, we find ourselves in a very, very complex passage here. We find the oracle given to King Ahaz has given us so many discussions and views that we don't really know where to begin here. But I believe we stick to the major ideas and the probable interpretations. We find ourselves with a straightforward interpretation and a very powerful message. It's a message that challenges our faith. Is our faith strong enough to see us through crises? Are we secure in our faith? If not, perhaps we don't understand the word of the Lord or the confirming sign he has given. Now, the historical setting of this account, remember that in Isaiah, not everything is in order. It's to do with timing here, and we may date this particular oracle to 734 BC. On the throne in Nineveh is Tiglath-Pileser III, a ruthless and a powerful king. Syria, the ancient Aramea, with its main city in Damascus, and Ephraim, the northern Israelite state, to its main city Samaria, they united to form a coalition against the kingdom of Judah and its capital, Jerusalem. Ahaz, which is Uzziah's unbelieving grandson, was on the throne in Jerusalem. When he heard of this coalition that was made to replace him with one Tabeel, he sought support from Tiglath-Pileser, sometimes known as Pul in the historical account against him. The book of Kings actually says that Ahaz was a son of Pul. That doesn't mean a son biologically, but maybe a political dependent. And that alliance is a costly tribute, and it was foolish because the Assyrian king was going to destroy the northern coalition anyway. And Isaiah came to warn Ahaz that only Yahweh could guarantee safety. We see this battle here, and Isaiah is coming. He's warning Ahaz that only the Lord can save him in this battle. And this prophecy is amazingly accurate. The sign that a boy was about to be born is a pivotal point. Before he will be old enough to tell right from wrong, that is about 12 years old, the enemies will not only be defeated but cease to exist. According to history, Shalmaneser V, the successor to Tiglath-Pileser, campaigned against the land and besieged Samaria. He died in the duration and was succeeded by Sargon II, and he completed the destruction of a northern state in 722 or 721 BC. So the oracle in Isaiah 7 could be dated about 12 years before that destruction in 722. And then in line with Isaiah chapter 7 verse 18, we see that the Egyptians and the Assyrians, they filled their lands with wars against each other, and there was complete devastation. The survivors only had to rely on eating curds and honey. There was nothing left in the fields at all. And the Assyrian crisis, we can go on and on and on, and we can use lots and lots of long, difficult names, but this crisis was accurately prophesied in these oracles. But looking at the structure of this chapter, it can be divided into three sections. The first 9 verses offer the words of encouragement by the prophet to King Ahaz. Isaiah offers encouragement from verses 1 to 9. Verses 10 to 16 introduce and elaborate on the sign of Emmanuel. That's they're looking forward to Christ. And then 17 to 25 goes on to predict the invasion in Assyria. And the sequence is clear. God was able to prevent the northern coalition from invading if Ahaz would believe, and God was willing to give a sign to guarantee it. But since Ahaz did not believe, God announced there would be a glorious future for the Davidic family, although the immediate generation would not share in it, and the present land would be devastated by the Assyrians and Egyptians. We see this element of trust there You know, God wanted Ahaz to believe in him and he would bless him, but Ahaz refuted it, and that's when destruction came upon him. And finally, and we can look at this more, we see the sign of the birth of Emmanuel in the second section here, and this is verses 10 to 16, but more significantly found in verses 13 and 14. These verses record a sign or a stinging rebuke that the king had wearied Yahweh with his unbelief. The sign concerns an unexpected birth of a young woman or virgin, and it talks about this birth among us, signified by Emmanuel, which is with us always. When we look at the Old Testament, we should see, where is Jesus in this? And that's important. We can look at that prophecy later on. But finally, you'll see in verse 15, you may be wondering why this predicted child, why this predicted Emmanuel will eat butter and honey. And that maybe requires some clarification. You know, it does seem like a very decadent diet to have butter and honey, but it means that there's something pleasant to be had. If you're coming out of wilderness, eating this would be a blessing. If you've been used to all the finest foods in the land, being reduced to having nothing would not be very good. And this shows a restoration of the land as well, a restoration of God's complete blessing if we have this butter and honey that the child will eat. It speaks of a restoration of the world system. So I hope you'll be able to join us on Thursday, and I hope this doesn't confuse us too much. Lots and lots of big words, lots and lots of kingdoms and names, but ultimately we do see a message about devastation, about looking to God, rejecting God, and the sign of the Messiah. Thank you.